Hey, this is Will from Chill House Studios. I'm here with Steve Pina, a good friend of mine from the music shop in Melrose, Mass. Steve and I are old friends and also gear buddies. We love to talk about old gear, guitars, amps, all this kind of stuff. So today we're going to talk about a 1968/69 Fender Pro Reverb amp. It's been in the studio for a while, and we're going to do a speaker swap on it. This particular amp has a 69 serial number, but all the internal stuff is date coded for 68, plus it has the drip edge, which makes it probably a 68, but was finished very early in 69. The amp has been in the studio for a while, and I have a couple of other vintage amps of that exact era, and it sort of never gets picked. So we thought, let's swap the speakers out and see if we can do a speaker upgrade. The amp right now has orange Utah speakers, which are, some people love those speakers or like them a lot, and some people really don't like them. Some people feel like they were sort of the last choice for the speakers that the factory might install in that era. But certain other people like them, and the people that like them, apart from just the way they sound, they point to Nirvana's In Utero album was made on a early 70s Fender Quad Reverb with those orange Utah speakers in them. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use Steve and his Telecaster, and I'm going to play a 335 with humbuckers. These are classic 57 Gibsons, and we're just going to test out the Utah speakers. Then I'm going to switch it out to the new speakers that we're going to put in it, and we're going to test it with those, and we're going to see what the differences are. So the new speakers that are going in it are Eminence Alessandros. I did a bunch of research, talked to some people, and these Eminence Alessandros seem to be, people really like these speakers and say they would be a great match, a more efficient speaker and a great match for this 69 Pro Reverb. So I'm excited to try them and really see what the differences are.
Do you want to make predictions on what that might be already? Or, I have prejudices going into this. I have no idea what we're going to get back on this recording.
I don't know. I don't think that the orange Utahs that are in it right now, I think sound fine. I don't have a huge problem with them, except I do feel like they're kind of lacking in the bass. I feel like they're kind of papery a little bit. They don't have as much bass response. So maybe they're a little on the thin side, but I'm comparing them to, in a studio situation, I'm comparing them to like the 68 Super Reverb, which has different speakers in it, different amp, same year.
Yeah.
A 66 Deluxe Reverb, which is a different amp, 2 years earlier, 3 years earlier. So I think I'm hoping to get just a more full-bodied kind of, more everything kind of speaker, but we'll find out and see. I did listen to some samples online at their Eminence site, and they sound, people say they sound like the mid-60s Jensens, which are kind of the favored speaker choice that could have gotten put into this era of Fender amps. So we're going to do like a clean test. Steve's going to play his Telecaster. I'm going to play a little bit of the humbucker guitar, and then we're going to go out there and I'm going to turn up the amp to about 6. It's on 3 right now. And we're going to break it up and do a little test with that too. And then we're going to switch the speakers, and then we're going to play exactly the same thing with the new speakers and go back and forth. And then I'm recording all this on the screen into Pro Tools, so we can sort of watch it happening in real time. Cool. So you want to give us a little Telecaster?
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Cool, and that's the neck pickup. I'm sorry, the bridge pickup. You want to try it on the neck pickup?
Neck, you get it?
Sure.
There you go.
Cool. So now Steve's going to switch it over, and I'm going to play a little bit on the humbucker guitar. So I think my guitar, even though I've backed the volume knobs off a little bit to try to match the output on the Tele, it's still breaking up the amp a little bit at 3. So on the screen, you can see we've been recording it. One thing that might be interesting to do is to put on the bright switch. Right here, I'm going to pull up on the screen an EQ. This is live in terms of the spectral analysis. So we'll switch back to Steve. Steve, if you give me an A chord.
Yep. Do you want it on the bridge?
It doesn't matter, really.
Okay.
Cool. Now, I'm going to go flip the bright switch.
All right.
Okay, so now give us that same A chord with the bright switch.
You got it.
Yeah, you see you hear it, but you also see the one more time?
You can see it on the screen, yeah.
Yeah, right around 2K, you get that boost. So, you know, the bright switch makes a difference on this amp for sure. All right, cool. So, let's speak a little bit about how I'm miking it. I'm miking it with a Royer 122, which is a ribbon mic, and a 57. Very popular duo of mics, some kind of ribbon. It doesn't have to be a Royer, and some kind of dynamic. It doesn't have to be a 57. That's what I chose for this example. I'm running them, both of these mics, into a Chandler TG2, which then I'm summing, which you can do inside the TG2. You can sum the signals together, and they're outputting into a Burl and going into the computer. So that's my recording chain, and we're going to keep everything exactly the same, but we're going to switch those speakers. So let's do a test where we turn the thing up to about 6, which will definitely put it into distortion, and we'll play the same thing and see what we get.
You got it.
All right, so now what we've done is we've turned the amp up to 6, which will definitely put it into overdrive, and Steve's going to play the same thing on the 3 pickups.
Let's see how it is. It's going to be loud, right?
Oh, yeah, but we're in
control room, so we're happy.
Yeah, it's in there, so.
The bridge.
Cool.
Anything else?
Yeah, you'll do it on the
Want the neck?
Yeah.
Coming up.
Cool.
Well, I think that people see what's going on the screen recording for sure, because I'm looking at it. It's like everything's so different.
Yeah, I mean, you can see with the bridge pickup you get less of the stuff down there around 100, and you get more of that with a neck pickup. It's a bassier. You want to switch over, and I'll do a little test on my side? Cool. So I don't think the amp sounds bad. It doesn't sound terrible, but I'm really curious to see what happens when we put different speakers in it. So why don't we take a break, and we'll do that and be right back. All right, we're back. And so what we've done is we've changed the Orange Utah speakers in the Pro Reverb to the Alessandro Eminence speakers that Steve was so kind to hook me up with. And these are brand new speakers replacing the old 69 Orange Utah speakers. So go for it, Steve.
All right, let's go clean. Bridge pickup. And here we go, neck. All right.
Cool. All right, let's switch it over to me.
I wonder what I think I'm hearing.
I mean, I think there's a clarity thing going on. I think it's got better bass, low end, better bass response.
I would agree with all that, yeah. It's more reactive. I feel like I can feel it more.
Full range, I think.
High fidelity, maybe.
I'm going to hold my thought until we compare, because we're going to be able to compare them here shortly.
All right,
okay,
yeah.
Here's... my guitar is breaking up more on these speakers than the other one at the same volume. So that means, I guess, you know...
Well, humbuckers versus single coils, really, right?
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, the thing I've heard said about these speakers is they're a more efficient speaker. So, you know, they're reacting to the load that's being put on them differently than the other ones were. So that's interesting. Let me go change it up to the overdriven
push it
sound.
to 6, yeah.
Okay, so what we've done now is we've turned up the amp to 6, so you're going to get, you know, an overdriven sound. We're going to play the same things.
Rock and roll. I like that.
Yeah, I feel like I hear a bigger difference in the overdrive sound than I do in the clean sound. I definitely hear the bass response a lot more, and it's just a bigger, cleaner, clearer, more clarity, just a bigger sound.
Yeah, I just liked it.
Yeah, I like it too. Here, hit me. That's pretty night and day difference for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that sounds pretty different to me.
That was cool.
So let's do this. Now that we've done that, yeah, I mean, that was the most fun to play by far. So now what we'll do is we'll go and listen to some of these. So now we're going to just do a little playback analysis. The first thing I'm going to play is Steve playing Cleanly Through the Utahs. So what you're looking at here on the left is the EQ profile of the Utah, and over here is the EQ profile of the Eminence. I mean, I feel like the Eminence definitely has more. Eminence has more low, and the Eminence is it's just a cleaner all around. It's a more full range sounding speaker at the clean volumes to me. The Utahs sound a little narrower. They cut a little more. They seem a little, maybe, I don't know if harsh isn't the right word, because they're not a harsh speaker, but they're not as sweet, not quite as sweet. But it's, you know, it's a difference you can certainly hear. But I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gigantic, but it's pretty noticeable to me. Okay, so this should be.
So I'm not perceiving it as a difference in volume. It's more of a difference of fullness.
Difference of fullness, yeah, I think, rather than a difference. I've volume matched all this stuff.
Okay,
so
because
that,
at first I was like, I thought I actually perceived it as a volume mismatch, and then like I'm looking at it, it's not, so I can clearly see it. But
yeah,
wow, it is different.
Yeah, you don't want a volume mismatch, because then the louder thing will always sound
bigger. Yeah, or at least louder.
So I'm trying to really volume match them.
It's amazing, yeah. So that's
so this would be the neck.
Yeah, that's a Utah. Oh, so you're bouncing between. Okay.
Yeah, on the neck pickup, I mean the Eminence is smoother, way smoother.
Yeah.
The Utah is a bit pokier, meaning it's got, you know, more of that kind of high mid-range frequency. This is the humbucker guitar.
Interesting.
So I'm switching back and forth. The track on the top is the Utah, and the track on the bottom is the Eminence. The Eminence is definitely a lot smoother speaker. My guitar is starting to break up a little bit. Yeah, the Eminence seems more evenly balanced in all of the frequencies, whereas the Utah seems to poke out a little more in the upper mid-range, like the 2K area, and then it doesn't have as much bass, so it's a little more, it's a little, you know, it pokes more. It's a little more, it sticks out a little more, that high-frequency stuff. This is when we decided to get loud. This is the Utah. And this is the Eminence. Yeah. I mean, the Eminence, the Utah has a thing, man. It's got a thumbprint, sonic thumbprint. It's there in the dirty. It's there also in the clean.
I liked it in the dirty, I think.
This will be your neck pickup.
Okay.
So I'm switching, and then now the Eminence. And then on the humbucker guitar, this is the Utah. And that's on the neck pickup. different. This is going to be your bridge pickup, which is the brightest pickup. Yeah, I mean, I think overall the Eminence speakers are a lot more full range. They're smoother in the high mids than are the Utahs.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The Utahs are pokier, a little more nasally, and that's those frequencies, those like 1K, 2K, are kind of the nasal frequencies. Now, I can see why somebody would like the Utahs.
I was just thinking, like, for certain styles of music, say the country stuff that you were messing around with, that would be pretty cool for that, right?
Right, and I could see, they say, or whatever, there was a Nirvana album in utero that was utilized those speakers. I could see that being totally appropriate, for something like that. I mean, I could see why people might like either one, but I think the Eminence speakers are smoother and have more to offer across a greater range of frequencies.
Yeah.
And I think the Utahs are a little more, they're not too deep, but they just have a little less to offer across the frequency spectrum to me.
I would agree with that.
But that doesn't make them wrong or bad. It's just, they're different. But it's interesting, it's a really interesting comparison to make. So now we have both pairs, so the Eminence that you hooked me up with so generously will live in that amp. There's no question. I'm going to keep those. But maybe I'll find a 212 cabinet and I'll put the Utahs in that.
I think it would be worth it to do that.
And then you could just plug into them whenever you wanted to.
I think it would be worth doing it. They have more in common than I thought. I thought it was going to be more like a night and day situation. It really wasn't.
Right. It's interesting.
It really is interesting, yeah.
Well, anyway, we thank you for joining us and hanging out with us on this journey. We're these are the kind of things that interest us, so we thought maybe we'd just film a video about it, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please leave us a comment if you want to, or ask a question. See you next time.
Like and subscribe, Will.